was the American dream this couple had worked for. A nice home, good jobs, and a great neighborhood.
Adam was a wonderful guy.
He was her world.
But behind those suburban doors, desperation. One day, she saw him in a red sports car with another woman.
All she saw was blonde hair. And they sped off.
An explosive love triangle. The wife.
Had you ever seen Grace in that state of mind before?
No. No, I hadn't.
The mistress.
He was leaving and he wasn't going back.
The murder.
There's a body in it.
They find Adam deceased in his bedroom from gunshot wounds.
The wife found with an empty bottle of pills and a bullet casing in her bag. She was accused of murder. But it was the mistress who called 911.
Oh my God.
Defense attorneys became prosecutors, blaming the other woman.
You got to think that the mistress can be just as much a likely suspect as the wife.
Hello and welcome to Dateline on OWN. I'm Tamron Hall. At first, it seemed a crime of passion. A wife betrayed, her husband found dead in their bedroom. But the truth wasn't so simple. For one thing, though the wife was accused, it was the mistress who called police to the scene. Here's Josh Menkowitz.
They call it the world's largest cul-de-sac, a place with nice homes, good schools, friendly neighbors. Ahwatukee is an affluent oasis south of Phoenix, but geographically isolated from the rest of the city. Local newspaper reporter Doug Murphy.
Ahwatukee's really kind of a close-knit little neighborhood. It's like a small town in a bigger city.
But do the neighbors behind their desert landscaping ever really know what's going on behind the doors of those perfect little homes? It's a story of suburban passion, of desperate housewives, and of secrets that come with a terrible price.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
For Polish immigrants Grace Pianka and Adam Kostevich, settling here represented their grasp, at last, of the American dream. With 2 suitcases and $250 to his name, Adam came to Detroit at the age of 20. There he met Grace, who'd also left Poland behind, yearning for a better life for herself and her 3-year-old son, Victor. Adam was 7 years younger than Grace, but their quick friendship soon developed into a romance. They spent 9 years together before marrying in 1996. The following year, this new family settled into a successful all-American life in the Arizona foothills, with Adam helping to raise Grace's son as his own. Grace sold real estate. Adam worked as a computer engineer. They spent their free time traveling and hiking.
I met Adam at the gym that we both attended, and we developed a friendship.
Randy Thompson, Adam's workout partner and close friend for nearly a decade.
One of the best friends I've ever had. A wonderful guy, very intelligent, quick-witted, always willing to help.
As a new resident of the American West, Adam did not take his right to keep and bear arms for granted. He had a large gun collection.
I know Adam from his background in Poland, communist background. Really enjoyed the freedom and the Second Amendment rights here in the United States.
And fittingly, one of Grace's closest friends, Cynthia Lavario, met the couple on the most patriotic of days, at a 4th of July celebration.
She's a private person, but a great sense of humor also. A wonderful mother, loving wife, a very nice person.
Was she happily married?
Very.
What was Adam to Grace?
Everything. He was her world.
So all the more disturbing when in early 2006, Grace said Adam had started acting a little different, distant. He left their home and began spending nights in a nearby hotel.
She was wondering, is he depressed? Is he having a midlife crisis? We really couldn't understand what was going on.
You knew he was not living at home for a week, even though he was in town.
Right. I thought it just had something to do with the fact that they were having problems with their son.
Grace's son, Victor, had drug issues and had also been in trouble with the law.
Were Adam and Grace on the same page in terms of how to deal with Victor?
No. My mother forgives everything.
Adam didn't want to forgive.
No, he was tired of it.
Was Adam's behavior a disagreement over how to deal with their son, or some kind of midlife crisis? No one quite knew, but no one expected the events that would unfold on Easter weekend 2006. It all began with an early morning phone call to the couple's home.
She called me hysterical.
A frantic Grace relayed that morning's events to her friend Cynthia.
Her home phone rang, and she picked it up, and it was a woman, and she wanted to speak to Adam, so she gave him the phone, and she asked, do you know who it was? And he said, it's just a friend. And he said, I'll be right back.
With that, without brushing his teeth or washing his face, Adam raced out of the house. He sped off in his car, and Grace followed in hers. She saw Adam pull into this McDonald's parking lot and jump into a red sports car, driven by a woman.
And all she saw was blonde hair. And they sped off. She was wondering what's going on.
Grace was beside herself with worry and agony. Cynthia had a suggestion.
Protect yourself.
You want to make sure he doesn't leave you with no money.
Right. Well, we didn't know who this other person was or what she was capable of. You know? So I told her, get your money out of the bank.
What happens next is not really disputed. Grace drives to the bank where she withdraws the couple's entire savings, which is more than $20,000 in cash and a cashier's check. She tries to deposit that money into another bank under her own name, but it's Saturday and the banks have closed early. So Grace returns home and calls Adam a number of times on her cell phone. Adam doesn't pick up. She leaves some voicemail messages. She's sad and crushed, according to her friend Cynthia Lavario. And at some point during that afternoon, Grace Pianka begins drinking.
I'm basically trying to calm her down. You can't really speak, have a conversation with someone who's that intoxicated.
So she's like, what, falling down drunk?
She was barely walking, right?
Had you ever seen Grace in that state of mind before?
No. No, I hadn't. Which was very, very painful.
Grace continued to drink wine and tequila throughout the afternoon. Finally, around 7 p.m., Adam returned home. Cynthia decided to leave and let the couple talk. But later that evening, she called to check in on her friend.
And there was no answer. And so I just assumed they went to sleep. Everything was fine.
Everything was not fine.
No, unfortunately not.
And shortly, a day that began with a startling phone call would end with another one.
911, what is your emergency? There's a body.
Coming up, the murder in the bedroom and the other woman who called police to the scene.
I know how slow his son. That's who this story is.
When In the Bedroom continues.